Welcome to Daily Devotions for Sunday, April 11th, 2021. After a very busy time for me around the Easter season, I'm glad to be back today to share again from 1 Peter. Today we pick up with 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 24, one of the best verses in the Bible, in my opinion, and really a great place to start back into our look into this book. This verse is a great verse for you to use if you ever have the opportunity to share the gospel with another person. Sometimes we think the book of Romans is a good place, and it is. There's this whole set of verses called the Roman Road that people use to share the gospel, and it takes people right through the story. Very, very helpful and good, but sometimes a little time consuming, sometimes maybe a little hard to learn or bear in mind. So if you're in a pinch for time, if there's a golden opportunity that heads your way, 1 Peter 2:24 is hard to beat. It reads like this: He himself bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that we might die to sin and live for righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed. That's just great news, isn't it? That's the gospel. He himself, Jesus, bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed. That verse encapsulates our being made right with God and what God does with us in saving us. We die to sin and live to righteousness. We're changed in this life and we're saved for all eternity. This is the good news, and it is good. By his wounds we have been healed. Peter once again takes us back to Isaiah, as he has many times in this book so far, taking us back to the Old Testament. He takes us here to Isaiah 53. By his wounds we have been healed. He's going to continue with that chapter in the next verse as well. But for today, just rest and rejoice in this truth. Jesus himself bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his wounds we have been healed. So let's today die to sin and live to righteousness because we've been forgiven. Thanks for watching today.